Hi everybody, thank you for being here again. Today is the day when we have again Ask Me Anything event with CEO. But CEO is not alone this time. It's a special occasion. So I have my co-founders with me. Please introduce yourselves.
Hello, my name is Josipa. Some of you know me by Jos. You probably seen me and heard me in some of the videos and some of the interviews. I'm head of strategy and communications at Revuto.
And my name is Marko. I am Revuto CTO, and as CTO, my main job is to make sure the software development works well.
Okay, perfect. This time we're going to do it a bit differently. So usually I am the one who is talking the most. I have my great co-founders here. I know that you've been asking for to see Josipa lately. Marko, I don't know why nobody asked for you.
That's perfectly all right.
But that's actually wrong, because you should be one who should talk the most, because there are some amazing things that you do, that you achieved, and we're going to cover those today. But firstly, let's try to begin to wrap up the ICO and that anniversary that we had.
Yes. So as all of you probably noticed, it was our 1-year anniversary since our ICO. So kind of in very short terms, you probably remember we were the first ever ICO on Cardano, but that actually turned out to be, not the biggest thing that we've achieved. So kind of if we look at the grand scheme of things, just by sheer numbers, the first thing that we've achieved is we raised an equivalent of $10 million US. We also have a wait list of 3 million users. Of those 3 million users, 350,000 are active users, 60,000 wallets created, and also a range of other things. For example, we had, I think, 29 builds and releases for our app. We were listed on 3 centralized exchanges. We had 8 staking pools in our staking center. We also had a bunch of other things. We had the first ever mobile wallet on Cardano. We've now announced the first ever mobile DEX on Cardano. But kind of the long story short is, to us, a year went like this.
Yep.
But actually, in reality, we did a very interesting blog post. In case you didn't have the time to read it, I would recommend you all go and read it. It actually has a bunch of metrics and milestones that we've achieved. But I would say the biggest ones are fitting so many updates, especially app updates, in such a short time, essentially shipping every couple of weeks, listing on these centralized exchanges, but also announcing our own DEX. And of course, last but not the least, I think the biggest thing is just our user base and the milestones that we've achieved there.
Yeah.
So really, it's been a very fun and productive year.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to just share some exact numbers. So up till now, we have 35,363,305 Revu tokens staked in our Revuto staking center. I think that that's an amazing number if we take in consideration that our core business model is not a staking center, but we are building everything to actually help people manage their subscriptions. We're gonna talk about that a bit later. So when you mentioned all those app releases, the major one is coming in a few days. It's gonna happen. I said last time around June 10th. I believe it's gonna be June 15th, something like that. But still, the version 3.0 is gonna go out, and it's gonna be a major upgrade because not only because of that feature that we're gonna introduce, subscription management service, at least the first version, but the whole the navigation of the app is going to be changed to suit that main core business that we are now going to introduce. I'm going to just tell a bit about a roadmap for those next 2 months. So the next thing, well, it's not the next thing, it's the thing that already is happening, is that airdrop of our token. So we started with that today. We took the first snapshot of all Revu token wallets. We already wrote in our blog post who are those who are eligible for our token airdrop. I think that's an amazing thing and opportunity for the people to actually gain some more profits from the project, but still our token is really important part of the Revuto ecosystem, and we're gonna be taking snapshots through next 45 days, so up till July 15. So I would advise anybody who wants to get those R tokens under really good terms to actually fill up their Revuto wallet with Revu tokens, because that's the key metric that we are taking in consideration when talking about how many tokens you're gonna be getting. Then 1st of October is the date when we plan to release the Revudex. And then after that, I believe that the virtual debit cards are going to be ready. So still I need to explain a bit about that. So subscription management is going to come in a few days with that amazing feature that actually is the idea of our co-founder Josipa. I need to praise you for that. Yeah, I believe that's an amazing feature, that password sharing, because now we're going to have a password management as well in the app. Everybody's gonna be able to actually set up their subscriptions there and manage them. There are gonna be notifications. There are gonna be some amazing things about that. And then those from UK are gonna be the first ones who are gonna be getting virtual debit cards. So yeah.
We got a really interesting question. I think we have a unique opportunity because we have our CTO here. Alija Islamovic asked us, can you tell us a bit more about the roadmap, what's coming in the following months? Just for some context, we have a packed roadmap for the next 3 months. So Marko, maybe you can kind of guide us through the biggest things.
Yes. So far, our customers have mostly seen the cryptocurrency side of our application, but clearly that's not all. We've got plenty more in line waiting. So other than the cryptocurrency side, we have the subscription management side of the business of the application. It's going to be version 3 is going to be out pretty soon. So let's start actually with the cryptocurrency side. We are planning, and that is definitely on our roadmap. We've got a partner. We are planning to allow our customers to purchase our Revu tokens and ADA directly within the application using their personal credit or debit card. That is pretty important because of everything else that you'll hear within the next 5 minutes from me. Anyway, so that is kind of the main thing that you'll see in the app regarding the cryptocurrency side of the business. However, now subscription management. First thing that I want to explain is, in order to maybe make things clearer, we are introducing a notion of subscription ecosystem. So everything that one would normally need for their subscriptions, to manage them inside one app. And that app will be the Revuto app. So what is really related to your subscriptions? First, you've got what am I subscribed to? What subscriptions are currently active? How am I paying? When is it due? How much is it due? Which virtual debit card am I using for it? What happens if I don't pay my subscription? What's the worst thing that can happen? Or what's my username and password? Like, what are my credentials for it? Who have I shared those credentials with? Right? That's one interesting thing that's coming up. So all of these are part of what we call the subscription ecosystem. So now back to the roadmap. The first thing you'll notice in the app is you will actually be able to set up your subscriptions. Every subscription as I just said, has username and password. Those are called the credentials. We are going to allow you to share your credentials with someone who you trust, who you would normally share your credentials. However, think about how many people have you already told your username and password. Do you remember? Do you have a piece of paper, notebook, where you're writing this down? Well, you don't need to, because you have a centralized spot, a place in our app that you'll know, hey, I have got this username and password that I'm using for this particular service. I'm willing to share them with you. If you do that like 10, 15 times, you'll know immediately who is the recipient of your credentials. Clearly, we are, as you know, working on virtual debit cards. Those virtual debit cards will be the main venue for activating and deactivating subscriptions. As long as you want, you will have your personal credit card or debit card tied to the virtual debit card. So no outside merchants will ever need to know your personal debit or credit card details. Even better, you will get a different virtual debit card for each subscription. So if there is some kind of security problem with one merchant, that's just one card. And 30 days out of 31 days in a month, there is going to be $0 there. So only that one day you'll have funds which will be available for your subscription. Those are kind of the top main things that you'll notice within our application. That is going to happen within the next 2 or 3 months.
I think that's a very exciting roadmap. I think while we have Marko on the topic, maybe it's relevant for you to draw a parallel, because we discussed this earlier. You have extremely relevant experience with Mint.com, and
yes.
They were essentially all of your personal finance in one place.
Yes, I will just tell you, so where this, of course, thank you for asking. I will tell you where this is coming. For those who don't know me, I've been a software engineer for like 25 years, and most of that time, I would say 90% of the time, this was in the area of financial services software, be it credit card companies, be it the largest fintech in the world, Intuit. At Intuit, we had a product called Mint.com and Quicken, so Mint replaced Quicken. There was one, almost a revelation at one point. I remember it was maybe like 15 years ago when I realized, hey, there is this, we've got several product managers, and each product manager is obviously interested in their own area of product management, being the main driver of traffic to the site. And there would be a product manager for say budgeting feature, there would be one for cash flow feature, and so on. And then we realized when we were trying to attribute website traffic and the customer's behavior to a particular area of the product, you know what happened? It turned out that most people were not logging on to Mint either because they were interested in their cash flow predictions, or because they wanted to check how they're doing on their budget, because of one totally overseen feature which didn't even have a product manager. This was seeing all of their finances in one place. In fact, I had several verbatims directly from the customers. We're talking to them, oh yeah, you know what, I'm logging on to Mint because Mint has my username and password for my 401k. It's the retirement system in USA. And it's a hassle to log on directly to my 401k provider. Or alongside 401k, I can look at my all of my brokerage accounts at the current value. So Mint was doing a good job there, and we were never cashing in on it. So the tagline turned out to become at that point all your finances in one place. So for us, I'm thinking it's a pretty decent explanation of what Revuto is about, all your subscriptions in one place.
Exactly. I think that's a perfect analogy of exactly where are we heading with the Revuto ecosystem plan. And exactly we're heading towards becoming all of your everything subscriptions in one place. And we have a lot of questions here about our marketing plans, which will be directly related to that. But before addressing that, I'll give the word to Vedran.
Yeah. So when you said all your subscriptions at one place, so we have some amazing setups and features within the app, how we can help people to subscribe with Revuto, how to pay for their subscriptions, and in the end, how to manage their subscriptions. And all that is packed in a product that is gonna actually save you money. And yeah, and it's gonna help you actually to not just save money, but earn money as well. But as we are building this on Cardano and on blockchain, there are some amazing things that we can bring in as well, and they're mostly connected now to the NFTs. NFTs are a big thing in a crypto world, and we managed to actually find a setup which is going to be really amazing and something that is going to be novelty within the subscription economy, and that is having a subscription as an NFT. What that means? So soon we're gonna actually release 10,000 NFTs, which are gonna be really amazing NFTs, because those NFTs are gonna allow you to have free Netflix or a free Spotify for a lifetime. There are gonna be some NFTs also for early bird physical cards, Revuto debit cards, which are gonna we explain later on in some of our blog posts or announcements, but now I want to focus on those NFTs. So we are all aware of those gift cards that can people buy, especially in the US, for the Netflix or for any kind of the service. So with Revuto, we're going to change that, and we're going to allow people actually to mint NFTs and send them as a gift to somebody else. As long as somebody is going to have that NFT in his Revuto wallet, is going to actually have that subscription for free. Obviously, somebody else is going to be paying for that subscriptions. But for instance, you can actually mint NFT for some service for 6 months and send that NFT to somebody else. But that NFT is going to be connected to that virtual debit card, which somebody is going to be paying. So basically, we're going to change how people are going to people are gonna actually forget about those gift cards with Revuto, because you're gonna be able to send a gift card for whatever you want, as long as somebody can actually subscribe with that service with Revuto virtual debit card. So I believe that's amazing feature. That's something that is gonna again change the way how people pay for their subscriptions as well. And why is that important? Also, sometimes when you buy something for a year and you subscribe for a year and you don't spend it, for instance, you just spend it for 3 months or 6 months, why would you lose those 6 months? Why don't allow somebody else to use other 6 months? But again, main focus on NFTs for Netflix and Spotify. We're going to have a limited number of those. We're going to announce that very soon. So those NFTs are going to be available for purchase on our revuto.com webpage, and it's going to be amazing NFTs. And those are going to be really amazing NFTs because, again, free Netflix and free Spotify for a lifetime. Okay, going back to you, Marko. Why I believe you are so important as well, because you're expert in AI and machine learning, and you did awesome thing for Intuit regarding the credit scoring. And that is something that we are going to introduce also. It's going to be part of our Revuto app. That's credit scoring mechanism, because for the first time also in crypto or financial world, we're going to have a setup that's going to allow people to borrow money without the collateral. So if you can tell us a bit more about that.
I can tell you a little bit more,
okay.
Although I will now give our listeners and people who are watching us a very brief overview. It is not something that we take lightly. We are investing a lot of thought into this. So let me start with borrowing and credit scoring. there is a traditional way to do credit scoring in case you want to take a loan. It's called scorecard. So scorecard means based on certain parameters of your finances, you would be approved or not approved for a loan. And those parameters traditionally are how many other cards you've got, how diligent were you with on-time payments, was there any time payment that was late more than X days and so on. So that's called scorecard. However, with my team of engineers and data scientists at Intuit, what we did is we found out a pretty certain way to figure out your credit worthiness based on your transactions only. This is, I cannot state how important this is. I needed to, if I had a virtual marker, I would underline it 3 or 4 times. So based on your transactions only. That means that there are many people who would normally be very good repayers, but because of something that's missing in their credit history, they wouldn't be eligible for a loan. And that's especially important if the loan amount is small. In fact, loans with really small amounts, amounts that are on the order of magnitude of someone's subscription, they're called microloans. You can borrow $10, $15, $20. It's for a larger institution, that's really pennies. That's nothing to them. They don't even bother. It costs more to process your loan than to actually give you those $20 that you will repay the next month. So what we are about to do at Revuto is we are going to use the experience that I've got with lending and credit scoring at my previous job at Intuit, and we are going to allow our customers microloans. Microloans, which are fantastic for someone who is just 1 day away from paycheck, 1 day away from maybe being able to deposit money for the subscription. And on the other hand, we might have plenty of people who are interested in making a little bit money on the side, making money using this lending system to earn a little bit on the interest. So this is something that's going to be a revolution in subscription management business. In fact, I am practically betting that this is the feature that's going to put Revuto on the front pages of financial blogs.
Okay, thank you, Marko, for a really, really great explanation. So I see that there are a lot of questions about the marketing efforts. So yes. We've been criticized about the marketing, but the thing is that now we are in the process of building the product. So we believe that the marketing should kick in when it should. And you're more involved with the marketing things or related things yes. within the company. So please tell people a bit our plans for the future and how we plan actually to market Revuto. Firstly in the UK mm-hmm. and then in the European Union, because those are the first markets that we're going to go in. Absolutely. Or attack.
Yes, yes. We do have a localized strategy because of the regulation. So it's not that we'll be attacking all of the markets at the same time, but we'll be first going market by market, starting with the UK. But yes, just to refer to what you just explained, which is correct. We're literally finalizing a very intensive R&D cycle. Marko just explained everything that will be in the pipeline the next 3 months. So you probably noticed that we've squeezed in a bunch of R&D work in the last year or so. And the reason for that is, as Vedran just explained, we first need to build the product, and then we need to be prepared for marketing and scaling it. So in order to know that we are ready for the hype machine that is the current state of just acquiring users and scaling up the operations, we need to make sure that everything that we're doing and offering to the clients is actually bulletproof. So to that respect, we didn't really have the luxury to start with marketing until we finished with the development. And with everything Marko just explained, we will be finalizing in the next quarter this entire development cycle and kicking off this marketing cycle. And in the marketing cycle, we made a tech talk that is referring to going to a product-led marketing and a product-focused marketing. And what that means is, for all of our loyal followers and Revutonians, you probably noticed that our communication tone up until now was very, as Marko explained earlier, focused on the crypto side of things. So really, it was geared towards the average crypto enthusiast and investor, all of you who were with us from the beginning or from the ICO. But what will happen after we launch our core product and our main feature is that we will significantly change our communication tone and become more of a very product-focused communication, which is all of your subscriptions in one place, and really doing the same thing that, for example, Revolut is doing when communicating, which is packing all of these complex technical messages into one simple message, which is pay with crypto everywhere you go, or in our case, all of your subscriptions in one place. So the moment when we'll be kicking off all of these activities will be the moment when once our features are live, initially in the UK, and then the Eurozone will come next. And for our marketing strategy, I can say a couple of things without going into too much detail, because we are keeping some of these things and features kind of hidden. Really, the name of the game in B2C, fintech, and crypto is user acquisition. So whoever acquires the biggest user base eventually is the winner. Because of different network and virality effects, we really think our ecosystem is positioned in a perfect way to become that core app around based on which we focus everything else. So it's really similar to the super app strategy that, for example, Revolut had back in the day, or in our case, as Marko just explained, what Mint.com had for personal finance. So based on that, the first thing that you'll see is that we will not be going towards the same user. We'll actually be targeting your average mainstream user who doesn't know a lot about crypto, but what they know is that they are tired of paying for subscriptions they don't use. They're tired of giving access to their personal information, such as their credit card information, to every single merchant online. They're tired of sharing their passwords with friends and then losing track of who has what, and eventually not being able to use their own personal account because they shared to too many leeches. And lastly, really get acquainted with all of these new and innovative features, such as microlending and borrowing. But the way that we'll be positioning this message will be primarily through network and virality effects. So you all know and loved our referral program, which was a big hit, especially a year ago. That referral program will go through a maybe update or a revolution, if you will. So we will change it and evolve it, because we continue to evolve it. So you probably noticed that the rewards were decreasing over time, as they should, because we need to reward the people who were with us from the beginning. And essentially,
but that's a one-time reward.
Yes,
we have
that's
a lifetime
one-time,
reward, and there is on our webpage there is a calculator. So anybody who actually already has friends or wants to invite friends to Revuto can calculate how much money he can earn just by referring friends, because everybody is gonna get a part of their cash back or that protection fee as a referral reward. And that's amazing. Those rewards are going to be coming in Revu tokens, and then with actually growing user base and the tokenomics, when all that thing with paying subscriptions with crypto kicks in, the price of those tokens should go up. So it should be really beneficiary for us.
It's good that you mentioned that, because that's actually, all of that is explained in our white paper. Yeah. But people tend to forget that. And we think all of those features will be very relevant and come to play when we actually start our consumer marketing. So kind of the long story short, or kind of summarized version of this answer would be, Yes, now that we are finally finishing this incredibly exciting R&D period, we'll be focusing or refocusing to marketing more than building. And the entire narrative will change. We will no longer be this crypto-oriented product, but we'll be more focused on attracting the average user you see on the street that may not be that aware of what crypto products or cryptocurrencies can offer to him, but we'll be drawing them into our ecosystem and then slowly but surely kind of feeding them feature by feature on how they can get immersed and use all of the benefits such as passive income, cashbacks, and everything else that we've explained. So you'll find out more about our marketing, unfortunately, once we actually launch. So still not, not in motion as we speak, but hopefully in the coming weeks and months, you'll be seeing our communication switch from everything that we built to offering that to the mainstream market.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you for a really good answer. But again, it's all about the timing. We had some marketing efforts that we put our funds into even during the winter time, and what we saw is that those didn't matter too much because the product was not out yet. So it's much better to spend money because marketing is a really costly thing when the time is right. There are several good questions, so we should address them, but the last question is a really good one. Any details about potential partnership with Avalanche and Polygon? So those are things that we talked a bit about, I believe, last time. So we are in contact with Polygon because those guys are really interested in working with us, especially to be part of that micro-lending and borrowing mechanism, especially Avalanche, because those guys are really awesome liquidity providers. They like our business model because they also believe that DeFi should be connected to real-world business cases which are actually profitable, not just like DeFi is just by playing that game of locking tokens and then lowering circulating supply to actually boost the price of the token, because when the total value locked of those tokens is really high, then there is nothing much to offer. But still, when you have really good business case like Revuto has, which again is sustainable and profitable, then I believe that we have a really awesome setup for liquidity providers to jump into that. So, but to be able to do that, we actually need to introduce the custodial wallet, which we want to make a multi-chain wallet. So we want to allow people eventually not only to pay subscription with Revu tokens and some Cardano native tokens, but also with some cryptocurrencies which are really adopted much more than anything else on Cardano at this stage. And that is also important because later on we're going to introduce the physical debit cards, which are not going to be directly connected to subscriptions, but we call them, how we call them for paying a chicken?
Going to the market.
Going to the market. So those are going to be for general purpose, basically. Debit cards, and yes, to be able to introduce Polygon and other their token, Matic, and their other cryptocurrencies within the Revuto ecosystem, we need to introduce a custodial wallet, which we are working on. It's going to be out maybe a month or two, something like that. I'm always not trying to give exact dates, because whenever we do that, then we get backlash from the community, because things can go left or right when you build such a complex products, but those things are coming in. Okay.
While you're looking for a question, we have one interesting remark from Bruno, which is, I believe it's very important to do all kinds of tests before releasing the microloan so that the user cannot make an investment through a loan. Recently here in Brazil, a digital bank, C6, did not notice when a customer made loans and back applications in the CBD until finally he applied 10,000 with the applications. He made a loan. I'm not going to explain the entire question, but essentially what I wanted to say is doing all kinds of tests. We have our incredible team member who's unfortunately not here with us, Mario, who is a very detailed and diligent tester from his previous experience in the banking industry. So we are definitely doing all of the necessary tests before launching things into the wild. This is one of the reasons why we still haven't launched our core feature up until now. The amount of testing, internal, external, the amount of procedures, enhanced due diligence processes, licenses that need to be obtained. You know, in kind of technical language, this would be a non-trivial task. So we really did all the necessary steps in order to make sure that we are prepared. But despite that, every feature that we'll be launching, for example, password sharing, although it will be launched to our user base, we will not go straightforward into marketing it. The pure reason is we want to make sure that our existing user base is fine with testing it. If they find any bugs that for some reason went through our QA process unnoticed, we will first address them before we go full speed into marketing. And this is the process and the procedure we'll be applying to every feature that we release. And yeah, so just wanted to say that on this comment for Bruno, we are aware of this. And you know, the losses and the breaches with some of the bridges that were happening on the market, both kind of on the crypto side, but also on the fintech side, we are aware of these things. And when someone says, you know, why is feature X and Y still not live? That's the exact reason why feature X and Y is still not live.
It needs to be tested. Everything needs to work 100%, because if we don't do it right, then people are not going to trust us, and then it's going to be a big problem for the future of the project. There is one amazing question from Simone. What about the Euro R stablecoin? Is that still on the roadmap? So yeah, in a way, it's really hard to do all those things in parallel. But I'm really convinced that in the Cardano ecosystem there should be one stablecoin which is actually backed with real money. I'm not a big fan of those algorithmic stablecoins, because there is nothing behind them than algorithm which may work or not work, and there are so many edge cases that usually people cannot cover in the first place. And then when certain, I would say, circumstances come into the play, then people can exploit at least one. That it's enough to be one edge case that they can exploit, and they're going to probably exploit it. With UST that happened, and I'm not sure if that's not going to happen to all algorithmic stablecoin. We partnered with Jet from Koti, so I'm not sure when they're going to be launching. They said it's going to be somewhere in June or July, but maybe, I believe, because all those things which happened with Luna and UST, maybe they postponed something. But again, I'm a bigger fan of those backed stablecoins, and if there's going to be opportunity to do something like that on Cardano, we're going to try to do it. It's not easy to do, because it needs to be a regulated thing. It costs money. You need to find the investors for initial supply of those stable coins. And yeah, but still, stablecoin is a must for the DeFi setups, even for the micro lending and borrowing, because you cannot depend only on the borrowing the cryptocurrencies that's volatile. Yeah, so that's regarding that. Future plans and collaborations. So we're gonna be announcing that in the future. So pay attention on our blog posts and everything. So yeah, that's regarding that. I wouldn't talk much about anything else today. I just want to wrap it up with Marko again with you, because there are some amazing things that you achieved recently, and you have so many patents. And we talked with you, and we said you should do separate video about that,
I am definitely going to do a separate video about that. In fact, I was trying to plan how to organize the video to explain what software patents are, the difference between a software patent and what people would traditionally think of as a patent, like improvements in a toaster or something physical. So software patents are a world of its own. So I will be explaining those. I will be explaining how come I've got so many patents through my work in the research in the last 25 years. I am, in fact, going to pick one or two of my patents that are actually showing the capability of Revuto to do what we are promising, right? Case in point, microloans. So please watch out for that video. We are going to post it soon. I am going to explain in many more details what's going on, more than I had the time to do today.
I just wanted to use one final remark. Someone said, thank you for doing this AMA. I just wanted to say, from our ICO post, in the last year, we've done more than 35 AMAs, more than 125 Medium blog posts. Also, our support team, which is amazing, they've solved more than 27,000 tickets with a 92% customer satisfaction score. And just on the social media front, the number of messages in our Telegram group during 1 year is more than 370,000, and the number of answers is always above 100,000 answers in the last year, and more than 9,000 working hours of our admins 24/7 in the general discussion group. And I wanted to close with that just because although we're doing these AMAs, and thank you for noticing that we're doing these AMAs, especially Vex, who is your well-known host and your favorite person here, we have an incredible team working on these updates. So I would just want to invite you once again for all of the questions that we haven't answered. Please make sure you go to Twitter, you go to our Telegram group and join the discussion there. Also, Vex is very active on Twitter. At
least I'm trying to.
He's trying to, and he's doing a very good job. So be a part of the discussion and make sure you follow our channels for all the future updates, because we've really packed so much in a year that I think, subscribing to our newsletters and becoming a part of the conversation in these social media channels is really worth your while.
Yeah. Again, follow our channels, because last time we filled out that pool for NFTs in 24 hours or even less. So pay attention, because we have still 2 pools left. One is going to be really amazing.
Yeah.
It's going to be connected to our token. But we're going to talk about that later. Then follow our channel, because Marko is going to be providing some great information about his work. And that's it. So yeah, a lot of things coming up now in the next 2 months. So it's going to be incredible, intense, and I believe good summer for all of us, Revutonians.
Exactly.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.